when my coworker handed me a tiny USB drive and quietly murmured, "Don't open this here. Delete everything afterward. You have exactly 24 hours." I honestly thought she was simply being irrational. But when I plugged it into my laptop that night after dinner and watched the contents load on my screen, I instantly understood she wasn't acting dramatic at all. She was desperately trying to protect my life from something horrifying. My name is Jenna Rossi, and I'm 31. I work as a junior accountant employed at Harmon Financial Group downtown in the heart of Chicago's crowded business district. The woman who handed me that mysterious drive was Paige Sullivan, seasoned senior analyst in our department, someone I'd known for over 2 years. We were friendly colleagues, but never close friends. The kind who exchange small talk near coffee machines yet never spend time together after hours. That small USB drive held evidence far darker than anything I imagined. It placed both our lives in extreme danger and gave me barely one single day to choose what to do before something terrible happened. Before we continue this story, hit that subscribe button and leave comments telling me where you're watching from right now. I genuinely love hearing from every single one of you who listens. I've worked at Harmon Financial Group for nearly 2 full years now. It's a mid-sized investment company with roughly 200 employees scattered across one glass-fronted building downtown. It looks impressive outside but feels completely ordinary inside, with standard cubicles, harsh fluorescent lights buzzing, constant computer humming everywhere, and low whispered conversations that fill the whole floor like background noise. I started working there right after finishing my accounting degree, slowly climbing from entry-level spot into my current junior accountant role. The job itself demanded long, exhausting hours, especially during tax season. Still, I felt proud of everything I'd managed to accomplish in that time. The salary was decent, the benefits solid, and I finally sensed I was building a real stable financial career. My world outside work was pretty calm overall. I shared a tiny apartment in Wicker Park with Melissa, my college best friend, for years. She works in marketing, and we've lived together for almost 3 years. Most days followed nearly the same predictable routine. Wake up around 6:30, take the Blue Line train toward downtown Chicago, work straight from 8 until 6 or later whenever our office became busy with deadlines approaching. It wasn't glamorous, but I always liked routine. Growing up in a home where my father's construction company nearly collapsed twice and money constantly created fear and tension made stability feel precious, something I never take lightly or for granted anymore in adulthood. I'm extremely close with my younger brother, Lucas. He's 26 and works as a software engineer in busy San Francisco. We text almost daily and video chat weekends. My parents moved to Arizona around 3 years ago, and I visit them twice every year. Asterisk, it's a good life. Maybe even slightly boring by many people's standards, but it's mine completely, and I've worked hard to build every piece. Paige Sullivan was someone I saw almost daily yet barely knew personally. She was 38 years old, a senior analyst who'd stayed with our company for nearly 7 years, handling major high-value investment portfolios and accounts. Paige was unbelievably sharp with numbers, the sort who could scan spreadsheets and instantly notice mistakes everyone else somehow missed. She kept mostly quiet and preferred staying alone, always polite but never sharing details about herself. Our interactions were limited to break room small talk or quick work conversations about clients we handled. She always seemed tense, but I thought that was normal for someone managing massive investment responsibilities daily. The firm's culture constantly pushed everyone with pressure to perform better nonstop. The day everything shifted was a Thursday morning, early and cold, November. It had been extremely long, one of those days where you suddenly look up and see 9 hours disappeared instantly. I'd been completing quarterly reports for demanding clients, triple-checking totals and ensuring everything matched perfectly throughout. By 5:30, almost everyone had already left early, leaving only quiet stragglers finishing leftover tasks slowly. I was packing up my bag, preparing to meet Melissa for dinner at our favorite Thai place, when Paige appeared silently at my cubicle's entrance with tense hesitation. I looked up instantly and immediately sensed something terribly wrong with her. Paige looked absolutely awful. Her face appeared pale, almost grayish in tone, and her eyes looked red and swollen like she had been crying. Her trembling hands gripped the edge of my cubicle wall with desperation. This wasn't the composed professional Paige I recognized. This was someone genuinely terrified and visibly unstable. Paige stood at my cubicle doorway, glancing around nervously, like she feared someone might overhear anything. "Jenna, do you have a second?" She whispered, her shaky voice barely audible, with trembling uncertainty. I noticed her hands shaking against the soft gray cubicle wall fabric. "Of course. Are you okay?" "You really don't look well at all." I stood up concerned, thinking she might need medical help or immediate support before collapsing suddenly. Paige stepped closer quietly, her eyes repeatedly darting toward ceiling security cameras mounted across office corners. I'd never even noticed those cameras much before, but her wary staring made my skin crawl. She reached into her blazer pocket slowly and pulled out a tiny USB drive. Plain black. The cheap basic kind sold in office stores for only a few dollars without any label. There was absolutely nothing special about it visually. It's just an ordinary flash drive resting in silence. "I need you to take this," she said, pressing it firmly into my palm with urgency. Her hand felt cold and clammy against mine. "Don't open it here. Don't watch it here. Take it home tonight and watch it privately. On your personal computer. Not anything connected anywhere to this company network." After watching Destroy Everything and Wipe This Drive, I stared at the USB drive, absolutely confused, feeling deeply uncomfortable with how strange everything seemed. What could possibly be on this tiny drive requiring such extreme secrecy and this level paranoia? "Paige, what is this? What's happening right now?" I tried keeping calm, but heard fear creeping into the edge of my voice despite trying. Was this some prank? Was Paige experiencing some severe mental breakdown suddenly? She'd always been incredibly professional and put together, and now she acted like we were characters inside some covert spy movie with hidden danger. "I can't explain right now," Paige whispered urgently, glancing over her shoulder toward the narrow hallway. "There are cameras everywhere, asterisk microphones too. Probably everywhere. Just trust me completely. Watch it privately tonight when you reach home. You'll understand everything fully once you finally see what's hidden inside there. And Jenna, listen carefully." She suddenly grabbed my wrist with surprising force, her grip strong and filled with desperate urgency. "You have 24 hours to decide what happens with whatever you witness. Asterisk, after that moment passes, it might be entirely too late for both of us to survive." My heart started pounding hard inside my chest. Too late for what? "Paige, you're seriously scaring me more than ever. Something is wrong. We should contact HR or alert the police or somebody who helps." She shook her head fast and violently refusing, releasing my wrist instantly and stepping backward fearfully. "No, not HR. Never. Definitely avoid involving HR. They're already part of whatever this conspiracy is. Just watch the videos and you'll fully understand why I cannot possibly go to anyone here. Why I can't go to the police alone. Videos." There were videos stored somewhere on this drive she handed me. Videos showing what exactly? "I'm deeply sorry, Jenna, for dragging you unwillingly into something this dangerous," Paige whispered, voice cracking with strain and exhaustion. "But I had nobody else trustworthy left around. You're new enough here that you're not included in their secret circle. But you're smart enough to recognize what you see when watching. Everything. Please just watch tonight, every single second, carefully. Then you'll understand why I needed another person to hold this information. Before I could ask even a single question, before I could properly process anything she said, Paige turned away quickly and walked toward elevators. Her footsteps were quick, sharp, purposeful, terrified sounding. She didn't look back at me even once. I watched her disappear around the hallway corner, leaving me completely alone, standing in my cubicle holding this strange USB that suddenly felt impossibly heavy in my hands. I looked around uneasily. Few employees remained seated several rows away, heads down, concentrating quietly on their glowing screens. Everything looked completely normal. The air conditioner humming, someone typing faintly nearby, the gentle light shining from office monitors dimming. But nothing felt normal. Paige's terror was genuine. Her trembling hands earlier, her pale, frightened face, the way she stared at those cameras constantly, as if they were weapons pointing directly down at her every move. Whatever was on this USB drive had clearly frightened her badly enough to risk handing everything to me. Someone. Barely more than a coworker. I slipped the drive into my coat pocket and gathered my belongings. My hands were trembling now, just like hers. I kept glancing nervously toward those same cameras I had never noticed until tonight's frightening moment. Were they only recording? Or was someone actively watching the feeds live? Did anyone possibly see Paige passing me that drive moments earlier, secretly? I grabbed my purse and my laptop bag and headed toward elevators, trying to appear calm even as my pulse raced uncontrollably, with fear and my mind spun full of unanswered questions. The train ride home felt painfully long tonight. I sat in my usual blue-lined seat, clutching my bag tightly where the hidden USB drive rested inside my coat pocket, concealed securely. Every time someone walked past me or even glanced briefly in my direction, anxiety shot through my body like electricity. I kept replaying Paige's urgent words inside my mind over and over. You have 24 hours to decide what happens. 24 hours for what? What kind of life-changing decision was I expected to make by tonight? I pulled out my phone, almost texting Paige, begging her for explanation. But something inside stopped me before typing anything. She had been incredibly cautious, watching cameras constantly, terrified of being overheard. If she feared surveillance that much at work, maybe my phone wasn't safe or private either. I put it away and tried calming down, but settling myself felt completely impossible right then. By the time I made it home exhausted, my stomach twisted painfully and my hands shook so badly it hurt. Melissa was in our kitchen when I arrived, stirring simmering pasta sauce and humming with music playing softly from her phone on the counter. "Hey, perfect timing, Jenna. Dinner is almost ready. How was your work?" She turned, smiling warmly, then instantly froze, seeing my face drained pale. "Whoa, are you okay? You look like someone showed you an actual ghost right in person," I forced a smile and made some excuse about a pounding headache and needing to finish extra work inside tonight. Melissa looked deeply concerned, but didn't question further. I grabbed cold water from the kitchen fridge and went straight upstairs to my quiet bedroom, closing and locking the door firmly behind me. I sat on bed for what felt like a long, silent moment, just staring down at the USB drive clutched tightly. In my hand, it looked completely ordinary. Small, harmless plastic object, just circuits and casing. But Paige's terrified expression kept flashing repeatedly inside my mind every second. Whatever rested on this drive had scared her enough to risk everything, her job, her safety, to make certain someone else knew the truth. I opened my laptop, my personal home computer used mostly for Netflix and online browsing casually. Totally separate from work or any company systems. My cursor hovered nervously above the USB port. Once I plugged this in, once I witnessed whatever was hidden inside, there would be absolutely no possible turning back. I would finally know whatever horrifying secret Paige had discovered inside. Everything. And that knowledge would make me responsible. Somehow, part of me wanted to toss that drive away and pretend nothing had ever happened today. Go back to living my normal, boring life where the biggest stress was meeting work deadlines and handling difficult clients. But I couldn't leave. Paige had trusted me, and she was clearly in real serious danger. I took a breath and plugged the USB drive carefully into place. The folder popped open, showing 5 separate videos, each labeled with dates from the previous month, plus one text file titled simply "Read this first" in plain letters. My hand kept trembling as I moved the cursor toward the file and clicked it open. The message was short, straightforward, and written exactly in that neat, precise style Paige used always. These videos are pulled from security camera footage recorded on executive floors accessed through company servers. They show what's really happening inside Harmon Financial. Watch every video sequentially. Then you will understand why I cannot possibly go to police alone and why I needed someone else. Knowing everything. If something happens soon, this evidence can't disappear with me, completely gone. I'm sorry for dragging you into this, Jenna, but I am running out of options rapidly and running out time. Delete everything once you decide exactly what happens. They're watching everything carefully, and they're far more dangerous than you imagine. I reread the message 3 separate full times, my heart pounding harder with each written line. Security camera footage obtained through our company's server. That meant Paige somehow hacked into security systems. That was completely illegal. Now she could face prison just for possessing footage. And she had handed all of it to me, which now meant I was holding stolen evidence of something enormous. Something dangerous enough, clearly, that Paige believed people were monitoring her constantly. Dangerous enough she feared someone might take her life without hesitation someday. I double-clicked the first video file and waited. The screen quickly filled with grainy black and white footage showing the executive conference room located top floor, a room I never had clearance to enter. The timestamp indicated 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, exactly 3 weeks earlier. 3 men sat together around the polished table, and I recognized everyone in that moment instantly. Richard Harmon, the CEO and founder of everything, Michael Brennan, the CFO who signed every paycheck, and David Shaw, senior head of investment division. The video included audio, and I raised volume closer toward my laptop. Richard was speaking calmly with a businesslike tone, discussing what initially sounded like standard client accounts. But as I listened more carefully and caught the numbers being mentioned and the way they discussed moving funds strategically in increments, avoiding detection, my stomach slowly dropped, sinking lower and lower. They weren't discussing legitimate business in any way. They were planning how to steal from clients without being detected ever. I watched all videos one after the other, my horror growing rapidly with each passing clip. The first video revealed them discussing stealing from a teacher's pension account, shifting $2 million slowly enough to dodge every automatic audit alert. The second video showed them debating offshore transfers and masking the entire financial trail with layered shell entities and hidden routing steps no regulator would easily trace again. The third video turned even darker as Richard Harmon spoke carefully about an auditor asking questions, using subtle, threatening phrasing to imply severe consequences for anyone pursuing investigations beyond what they permitted. My hands quivered uncontrollably as I tried moving the mouse with steadiness. The fourth video revealed Paige entering that room late at night alone, confronting Richard about everything she had courageously uncovered. Her voice trembled slightly, yet stayed firm, while she stated she knew about theft, forged statements, and ongoing financial fraud. Richard's reply chilled me deep in my spine. He told her plainly that she was complicit, that every report signed over the past years tied her to wrongdoing. If this ever surfaced, she would face prison with the rest equally. The difference, he claimed with a cold grin, was they possessed money for high-priced legal protection, and she had none. The fifth video played with a timestamp marking only 2 days prior. Richard and Michael discussed Paige directly, calling her a liability, growing dangerous. Michael said he feared she might approach authorities soon. Richard's response froze everything. He said they must ensure she understood stakes, and if she talked, they'd shift all evidence to frame her entirely. And if framing failed, he added calmly, accidents happen when people panic. I snapped my laptop shut and leaped upright, pacing frantic circles inside my cramped bedroom space. These men weren't merely stealing from vulnerable clients. They were threatening Paige's safety, freedom, and life. And now I understood, which placed me directly in their danger zone. I grabbed my phone with trembling fingers and started dialing emergency services, then abruptly stopped cold. Paige had clearly stated she couldn't contact police without someone else present. Why couldn't she alone? What exactly terrified her? I reopened her message and read every line slowly, carefully, repeatedly again. They're watching everything. Jenna, did she mean police were compromised already somehow? Or was it something else entirely happening unseen? My thoughts were spinning, struggling to think clearly through rising waves of panic pushing into me. If I contacted police right now holding only this single USB drive, what exactly would follow? The videos showed undeniable fraud, coercion, and threats, yet Paige acquired them illegally by hacking servers. Would that evidence even hold up inside court? And if authorities opened an investigation, how long might everything actually take? Days? Maybe entire weeks. Richard Harmon possessed money, connections, influence, protection, leverage. He could bury evidence, scare witnesses into silence, or harm people first before anyone stopped him. I desperately needed help. Someone loyal and trustworthy. Someone steady under pressure. Someone who understood danger. I called my brother Lucas immediately. Without thinking, he answered on second ring, sounding relaxed, cheerful. Hey Jen, what's up? Music played behind him, the normal comfort noises of his San Francisco evening far from this nightmare swallowing my world. Lucas, something happened tonight. Something bad and terrifying. I need your help and I feel lost. My voice cracked instantly, as I realized tears were slipping down uncontrollably. Hours of fear, stress, shock, tension, and dread finally broke open completely. Lucas's tone shifted sharply. "'Kay, I'm here, Jenna. Tell me absolutely everything. What exactly is happening?" I told him everything, speaking quickly and quietly, even though I sat alone inside my locked bedroom, shaken and terrified. I told him Paige had given me footage, that executives were plotting to steal millions secretly, that threats were spoken, and that her message warned I had 24 hours before consequences came. When I finished talking, Lucas stayed silent momentarily. Then he spoke slowly, serious and sharply focused. "Jenna, this is major federal-level criminal activity territory. Wire fraud, laundering, conspiracy. You cannot approach local police with evidence like this without risking complications. You need the FBI or the Securities Commission, agencies built to investigate corporate financial corruption properly." He paused, then added, "You must act quickly before those men realize Paige shared the recordings." Lucas remained on call with me 2 hours, helping research FBI offices, guiding me through processes, and setting secure cloud storage for my backups. By midnight, we finalized a plan for morning. I would contact federal agents and schedule immediate emergency discussion regarding evidence. Lucas insisted I avoid work completely tomorrow morning. Call in sick immediately and stay far away from Harmon Financial entirely. But Paige weighed heavily. She was in danger right now this night. I must warn her I plan to report. What if something happened to her before morning? Lucas tried stopping me. You reach out, you might alert them. Her phone might monitor. Her emails might track. I knew he was right, but couldn't abandon Paige without any warning. I compromised by sending a vague coded message. "Got your package safely. Sharing with right people tomorrow morning. Stay safe." No specifics, no names. 3 minutes later arrived her brief, quiet reply. "Thank you. I knew I could trust you. I'm okay for now. Do what you must." I attempted sleeping afterward, but rest never came. Every apartment sound jolted my nerves like alarms. At 3 in the morning, I still lay awake, staring upward at nothing. When my phone rang from an unknown number, my entire body froze. I let it ring into voicemail, terrified, speechless. 30 seconds passed before another unknown call appeared. Then one final message arrived, making my blood shut down completely inside. "We know what Paige gave you. Bring drive tomorrow 9 A.M. Richard's office, come alone. Don't make this complicated." They knew everything now. They had discovered everything. And now they were coming after me too. Asterisk, I called Lucas back immediately, my hands shaking so violently I could barely keep, holding the phone steady without dropping. They know Lucas. They just texted threatening instructions demanding I bring drive to the office tomorrow. Lucas's voice turned sharp, urgent, controlled, but panicked. "Do not go anywhere near that damn building. Call the FBI immediately, not later. Not morning, right now, this second. This is genuine emergency." I searched, quickly finding the FBI Chicago office emergency number, and called. My trembling voice explaining the entire situation shakily to the agent answering. He listened extremely carefully, asked me immediately to email every video file to a secure address he provided during call, then told me firmly to remain inside apartment and lock every door. "We're sending agents now. Don't leave your apartment. Don't answer unknown numbers. Just stay put, waiting." Within 40 tense minutes, someone knocked my door. 2 FBI agents stood in a hallway holding credentials visible through the peephole. I let them inside, and Melissa emerged bewildered, staring at federal agents standing inside our kitchen at 4 in the morning. The agents interviewed me more than an hour, copying entire USB contents and asking numerous questions about Paige, her position, company hierarchy, and threats. One agent made calls, then faced me seriously. "We're sending a team to check Paige Sullivan right now without delay. We're also executing warrants to seize financial records from Harmon Financial headquarters at 6 a.m. before anyone destroys evidence." The second agent looked directly into my eyes. "Ms. Rossi, you did exactly the correct thing calling us immediately tonight. Based on these videos and that threatening message, you and Miss Sullivan may require protective custody until arrests are completed." At 6:47 morning, my buzzing phone rang. It was Paige crying. "Jenna, 2 men came to my apartment earlier. They tried breaking down my door violently tonight. I called 911 and they quickly ran, but I'm terrified, Jenna. I don't know what to do anymore. Help." The FBI agent gently took my phone, speaking, identifying himself and informing Paige agents were already on their way immediately. Minutes later, they confirmed she was safeguarded and transported to FBI offices for full protection. By 9 a.m., Sharp, Richard Harmon, Michael Brennan, and David Shaw were arrested at their homes before reaching the office. The FBI seized computers, financial documents, hidden records, and files from Harmon Financial early that morning. The investigation uncovered fully 47 million stolen funds, falsified documents stretching back 5 entire criminal years, plus evidence proving intimidation and threats toward employees. Paige's hidden footage combined with internal company records built an overwhelming case the defense couldn't challenge. The trial happened 8 months later, revealing everything. Richard Harmon was sentenced to 23 long years in federal prison custody for wire fraud, laundering, and conspiracy charges combined. Michael Brennan received 18 years behind federal bars. David Shaw cooperated, fully testifying against the others, receiving reduced 8-year sentence from prosecutors afterward. Every stolen dollar eventually returned to rightful victims, including the teachers' fund that had lost millions. Paige and I testified together during the trial, Sitting inside that courtroom, staring at those men who threatened our lives felt cold, terrifying, unbearable. But we had each other and protective agents who believed everything fully. The defense attempted undermining Page's evidence as illegally obtained without authorization access. But the prosecution argued that her methods uncovered real crimes, fully corroborated by company financial records. Harmon Financial collapsed completely after the executive arrests. The company declared bankruptcy immediately. And 180 employees lost their positions overnight, including me, unfortunately. 2. It was devastating watching innocent coworkers suffer consequences because corruption at leadership poisoned everything beneath them. I spent 3 months completely unemployed searching desperately before finding stable work at a smaller firm that genuinely valued integrity. Page faced even harder times dealing with aftermath. Despite being the whistleblower, some former colleagues blamed her for destroying everything and costing them jobs. The emotional toll became severe, overwhelming, and painful, and she entered therapy to manage trauma guilt. We became close friends through that long ordeal, bonded by an experience no one else understood. The FBI later explained Page had been suspicious for more than a year, but was too frightened after seeing what happened. To employees questioning management. When she acquired footage, she intended to report everything directly to authorities. But then she realized she was being followed, leaving the office late, understanding they watched her. She needed someone trustworthy to hold the evidence in case something happened. That's why she chose me, someone junior enough to be completely overlooked, yet smart enough understanding exactly what she uncovered. My brother Lucas flew in from San Francisco 1 week after arrests and stayed 2 weeks. Having him beside me, the person who guided me through that terrifying night of panic chaos, meant more than anything. He helped me recognize that what I'd done was brave, even though I felt terrified surviving. It felt like survival, like making the choice that wouldn't leave me complicit in terrible crimes. Here's what I learned from those 24 hours that completely changed everything. When someone risks everything to trust you fully with dangerous hidden truth, you must honor that. Page could have stayed silent, protecting herself entirely, but instead she exposed the fraud, risking everything. That courage deserves courage. I also truly learned doing the right thing doesn't guarantee happy endings for everyone involved, unfortunately. Innocent people lost jobs because of crimes others committed without their knowledge. That collateral damage exists and shows why. Speaking up matters even when it feels unbearably hard. The night I plugged in that USB drive, I had a choice. I could have deleted everything and pretended I never saw any of it. Part of me wishes I'd made that choice because following months brought fear, uncertainty, constant anxiety. But staying silent meant fraud continuing, endlessly harming more clients, more employees. Page might have disappeared. Sometimes the right choice is the hardest path, and you don't know how things will unfold until you're fully committed. I still work. Accounting. I still love balancing numbers into steady alignment. But now I notice details differently each day, searching for inconsistencies, signaling something deeply wrong beneath. I'm more careful now about companies I join, researching leadership, reputation thoroughly before accepting any position. Page eventually found work at a nonprofit helping whistleblowers navigate legal systems and manage emotional fallout. She uses her experience supporting others facing impossible choices that terrify them. Last month, she described a case involving someone in similar frightening situation, needing reassurance from survivors that ordinary people manage extraordinary acts when needed. If this story resonated, hit subscribe and comment, sharing your honest thoughts. I truly love hearing from everyone listening today. Most of us never receive USB drives containing evidence of serious crimes, but we all face moments choosing easy or choosing what is right. Those moments define us. I wasn't any hero, just someone who made the right choice when it mattered the most. That's all any of us can ever do. Thank you for watching, and remember always, this courage isn't fearlessness ever. It's doing what's necessary even when you're terrified.